I've always wanted to take a group of students to a faraway place that's kind of exotic and interesting in so many ways.
By the time this show is done, the audience, they're going to feel it. Their calves are going to burn. It's an exercise. They're going to appreciate just what it is to be an actor. It's not just standing up there and reciting lines.
Poets are sort of, are like the Rodney Dangerfield of, the arts. Like, I don't get no respect.
What I see happening with the imagery coming through Occuprint is this outpouring of people who want to participate in a social movement through cultural forms.
You've got the food, you've got the kitchen, but where did it come from? This is where it came from.
Welcome to Study with the Best, the magazine show about CUNY. I'm Tina Beth Pina. On this episode of Study with the Best, we're going to take a look at some of the standout stories of the past year from the CUNY community. But first, let's go to South America.
This trip all began many, many years ago in a way, because it's a dream of mine. I've always wanted to take a group of students to a faraway place that's kind of exotic and interesting in so many ways. So South America was the destination. The cities, Santiago, a growing city, Valparaiso on the coast, a beautiful, really interesting city, and then head to the south, move to Patagonia, to the Andes, to the mountains, to the fjords, waterfalls, guanacos, wildlife, really interesting people. I chose 12 lucky students and 2 alternates. And 1 student did end up dropping out. And that's how Louis Aguirre got to come.
I wanted to test myself and see if I can actually make good photographs. Not just good photographs, but great photographs. Something that you can actually put on a wall and people actually look at it and say, wow, that's great.
I guess it was meant to be, if you believe in such things. My philosophy that I tried to convey to them was that you're not here on vacation. You're here as an opportunity to build your portfolio, to get a lot of experience as a photographer, to have just a whole enriching experience with another culture. And the time to sleep is in the vans, or when it's raining, or when you get home, not when the light is gorgeous in the morning or in the afternoon.
One day we would be somewhere, and the next day we're packing up, getting on a boat, and camping out and staying overnight on a place that I've never seen before.
Unfortunately, there was a bad storm the second night we were there at this place called Cajuelmo, and our boat was damaged.
So our boat is about to capsize.
All our clothing was wet. It was wet, cold, raining. We had nowhere to go, nowhere to get out.
It's a lot of love going on, or it's either love or body heat or something.
Both. Adrenaline.
We felt like we could count on each other, and it was one of those things that helped us get closer.
Patagonia.
My worry on a daily basis was just picking up my camera, and you go out and shoot it the entire day and just shooting people, shooting landscapes. And for me, that was great as a photographer. That's the life that you want to live.
culmination of their trip was then put up on the walls here. It's all about sharing with the college community because they're a select group. There were only 12, you know, and this is a big college, LaGuardia, and the other students here deserve to get a taste of what these students did. On this trip, the students learned quite a bit about being photographers, and they rose to the occasion. And next time they go, they'll be even better at it, and they'll be leaders, I think, from it by having this experience.
Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
My name is Matthew Baguth, and I'm playing Macbeth.
My name is Shawnette Wilson. I play Lady Macbeth.
My name is Thomas Stagnita. I am playing Banquo.
My name is Ralph Carhart, and I am the director.
Oh, come in, great equivocator! Knock, knock.
1,000 years from now, there will be so much of what we do and what we say in this world that will no longer exist. We'll have no idea, you know, what an iPod is 1,000 years from now, but we'll still be doing Shakespeare.
Prithee, go with me.
There are different kinds of environmental theater. The kind that I like to do, it's referred to as promenade theater, in which the audience follows the show. As soon as you get someone up off their butt, they're automatically utilizing more of their senses. They're utilizing more of their brain. When you make them follow the story, when you bring them into the story, they become so much more involved.
To be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, and why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
This production is by far the most challenging production I've ever experienced or been a part of. The show takes place predominantly underneath the theater space in the catacombs of Queens College.
We're bringing the audience into a restricted part of the campus. You know, these tunnels are not meant for public access.
This is very scary, it's very spooky. We deal with a lot of creatures down there, but it's definitely fun in the end.
The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their passage, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
The audience is right in your face. The actors are actually allowed to touch the audience and interact with them. That's also something I've never experienced.
Yeah, once again, that energy and kind of gripping them, and you know, you have to move through the rooms. And if we do our job right, they'll go smoothly.
And I fear thou playest most foully for it. Yet, it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings.
By the time this show is done, the audience, they're going to feel it. Their calves are going to burn. You know, it's an exercise. They're going to appreciate just what it is to be an actor. It's not just standing up there and reciting lines. It's an exercise. It's work.
When the lights go up, you know, and the sounds and the mics are up, and all that stuff comes together, the collaboration, all that hard work, it's so worth it.
I can't imagine doing anything else. Taking the people in the show and being able to like go into a separate world with them. And so when you come back from that, and when they come back from that, hopefully there'll be like renewed energy.
It's fun being that malicious and that devious and that sexy and that controlling. I decided to audition because I wanted to try doing Shakespeare and just see if I could do it and see if it could be a part of my professional life. And I definitely think it's something I want to do for the rest of my life now. I got the bug.
They're just so enthusiastic about this project, and they've thrown themselves in it so completely that this particular production has been a joy to me from the beginning to the end.
Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
There's more on the way, but first, a message from the Chancellor.
Hi, I'm Matthew Goldstein, presenting CUNY's 2012 Science All-Star Team, each winning a $126,000 National Science Foundation Award.
From Baruch College, Belen Siguera Carrillo. From City College, Deborah Ayene, Teresa Carranza Fulmer, Charlie Corridor, Jamila Kester, Christy Sukdeo, and Zvi Fishman. From the CUNY Graduate Center, Andrew Fulmer. From Hunter College, Carolina Salguero, Jimena Santillan. From the Macaulay Honors College at City College, Jae-Song Han, Christopher Hugh, and Stephen Ma. And the Macaulay Honors College at Hunter College, Vivian Baldessari and Vincent Way. And from York College, Kirk Haltofterhide.
CUNY Science All-Stars, like our Yankees, hometown champions.
Most people in the world do, I think, tend to wonder about you if you announce to them that you're a poet. Part of it is that all you have to do to say that is have a pen. Poets are sort of, are like the Rodney Dangerfield of the arts. Like, I don't get no respect. If you look at the way poems are presented on YouTube, you'll see that people often don't think that poetry is enough. You'll have poems by Shakespeare with some Kenny G in the background. I don't want to sound like a snob, but if I hear a poem with music, I start to get angry, because the whole point is that the words are supposed to be in the foreground. My name is Joshua Mehigan, and I am a writer. I use meter and rhyme in my poems. Most poetry that's ever been written has had a beat. Iambic pentameter is the most popular meter in English. It's very natural. People think that it's not natural. It's constantly denigrated as artificial, overly artificial, but I hear it all day long. I hear it on the subway. I see it in signs. Area under video surveillance. Okay, that's the line of iambic pentameter. I heard a guy in Dunkin' Donuts say, I come, I do my work, I leave, that's it. That's the line of iambic pentameter. It's very natural to English. In about 2008, I lived in Gowanus, Brooklyn, and I would always have right in front of me a smokestack. And every day I saw the smoke, and I would sort of think about what the smoke looked like. The town had a smokestack. It had a church spire. The church was prettier, but the smokestack was higher. There was a lone ruined column, a single snuffed taper, a field gun fired at heaven, a tube making vapor. The smoke thinned the attention. Its aspect kept transforming. It could look like a cloud, or like mosquitoes swarming. In In my own poetry, I try to stay away from just being kooky or just having, you know, kind of far out, you know, dreamy ideas. My poems are fairly plain spoken. They're not usually that difficult. I use rhyme a lot. It can make a poem musical in a way that might attract somebody who doesn't like poetry. People love Dr. Seuss, you know. I mean, I'm not writing poems that are exactly like Dr. Seuss poems, but most people I know who are not poets, who haven't been through an MFA program, who have not studied the history of 20th century poetry criticism, prefer Dr. Seuss. Rabbit's Foot. Grandfather Rabbit and Grandfather Hare, forgive us, your forgetful progeny, who unleash dogs to shake you in their jaws, then sell your hacked-off hands as souvenirs. Forgive us. Our hearts, too, are very little, and race with blood as tenuous as our fate. We also tremble helplessly or flee. But with this relic of your ancient luck, so may we also often procreate and burrow always toward the mystery below, as our Grandfather Rabbit does. And may our naked children, as yours do, Grandfather Hare, drop always open-eyed onto the sunlit meadow of despair. I really want my poems to be read. I would like to reach, you know, as wide an audience as possible without making my poems like TV. I had a couple of kids write to me, actually, who read a couple of my poems in high school classes and said that they liked them because they actually could understand what the hell I was talking about.
One of the things that's been most amazing about the Occupy movement is just seeing how many voices there are out there that want a chance to be heard. Part of what makes a social movement, in my opinion, more than just a few protests or a few angry people or isolated events, is those amorphous cultural forms that emerge through and within all of those isolated events and experiences. My name is Jesse Goldstein, and currently I teach a class called Protest and Revolution at Brooklyn College. Once the occupation of Zuccotti Park happened, some people decided they wanted to make an occupied version of the Wall Street Journal. They raised money for 4 issues. One of the issues was going to be all images, all posters. And that was the first Occuprint project. And so from there, we set up a website after the issue got published to sort of as a place to put the images we weren't able to put into the actual print edition. What ended up happening is people started just sending us images, and we started getting people from across the country just sending in their poster images, and we started posting them. And so all of a sudden, we became an archive. All of a sudden, we started having this growing collection of Occupy Wall Street related imagery. What I see happening with the imagery coming through Occuprint is this outpouring of people who want to participate in a social movement through cultural forms. In a lot of ways, when I think about the singularity of imagery that Occuprint creates, it's less an individual image that stands out as the image, and it's more this like scrolling through a gallery of endless images, and you almost don't even have to focus on any of them, but just the sheer knowledge that they're all there feels good, right? Like just knowing that you can keep scrolling and keep scrolling, it's just not going to end. The posters that are being printed here are all going to be part of a portfolio that we're making. And so one of the things we decided to do, in part to enable this moment to have a life in sort of cultural institutions, and in part as a fundraising device, to be honest, we decided to make a print portfolio of 30 images from the website. We, as Occuprint and the artists involved, feel pretty strongly that it's not okay to just do one or the other. And we really like trying to work between the digital and the analog. And so while we love getting this huge collection of images on the web, it's really important to us to pull some of those out into the world and to sort of build those connections, right? So that it's not just images on the internet, it's not just images on the street, but that the two can sort of speak to one another and magnify each other.
I've been an artist my whole life and an activist my whole life. The two really mingle well for me. The content of much of my art has been human rights, social justice issues for forever. So the transition into making art for Occupy Wall Street was pretty seamless in that it's pretty much the same concerns that I was dealing with in my art for many years.
This is my first time doing anything with screen printing. I've never really done any sort of fine or visual arts before, so it's really cool to be able to be involved in a process like this, especially connecting it to something like Occupy Wall Street, which is something very prevalent right now.
One of the things I'll say that has been really pleasantly surprising is just how different the social movement art that we're seeing in the Occuprint collection looks from the last 10, 20, 30 years of social movement art. There's something lighter, there's something airy, there's something hopeful, I would say. It's less focused on just sort of depicting the violent sort of enemy, and it's more focused on asserting a sense of empowerment, of self-empowerment, or collective empowerment. I don't think we need more people thinking about revolutions in the way that revolutions have been thought about for the last 100 years. I don't think we need more people thinking about protest in the way that protest has been thought about for the last 100 years. I don't want to throw that history away, but I want to go somewhere else with it. And I want to build it and see new and exciting things happen with these histories.
Hi, Barry Mitchell speaking to you from down on the farm. On Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, we're at the City Tech Hospitality Garden.
We've had so many people stop by and want to know what we're doing. Brooklyn is such an urban environment. This really is quite the concrete jungle. I mean, we're just 20 inches of dirt on top of concrete. But look what we've been able to accomplish here.
My name is Mark Hellermann. I'm a culinary and pastry instructor at the New York City College of Technology, and I also take care of the hospitality garden here at the DeKalb Market. The reason for the hospitality garden here is to give students the opportunity to learn a little bit more about where the vegetables come from that they cook with, where the flowers come from that end up on the dining room table in the City Tech Hospitality Department dining room, to learn where their food comes from so they can appreciate it a little bit more.
You've got the food, you've got the kitchen, but where did it come from? This is where it came from.
Omnivore, herbivore means what a person consumes.
A locavore is someone that eats, no matter where they eat, sustainable local food, produced anywhere within 100 miles radius of where they're living or where they're eating.
Neil Kleinberg, himself a graduate of City Tech's Hospitality Management Program, is a Manhattan restaurateur.
I own 2 restaurants in Manhattan, Clinton Street Baking Company on the Lower East Side, and Community Food and Juice on the Upper West Side in Morningside Heights.
And here's another reason you should not be afraid to get your hands dirty in the garden.
Both of our restaurants, we like to hire, like-minded students that are into sustainability and farming and know where their food is coming from.
It's an incredibly competitive market right now. Coming in with a little bit of an understanding on, well, I know how to grow beans, I know where chard comes from, I know the best season for tomatoes. Maybe, just maybe, an employer is going to think, yeah, I like this farm-to-table thing. I'm going to hire this person.
Wow, how big are these eggplants? Are these Japanese or are these, how big are they going to grow?
They're going to get pretty large.
My love of gardening started in the Midwest, in northern Wisconsin. First garden I had was when I was probably 10 years old, and my father said, look, there's a little plot back here, Mark. Cut down those trees, dig it up, and you can plant some beans.
Shalita Ori is a second-year nursing student at City Tech. She also tended garden back home.
I started gardening in Trinidad at an early age. And right now, I am picking some collards, and soon I'll be picking some kale.
I'm going to be tying up our tomato plants to these stakes. As they grow, they're going to get extremely heavy, and this is going to train them to go upward.
Jocelyn Taylor was president of the Hospitality Garden. She graduated from City Tech in June.
What I'm planning on doing with my degree, which I'm pretty excited about, I would like to work in a restaurant or any place where they do appreciate anything that's grown locally.
Maybe we can actually make a new one, call it a Brooklynvore.
I'd like that. We could have a Brooklynvore.
That would be Junior's Cheesecake, wouldn't it?
Lots of Junior's Cheesecake.
For more information, search online for Hospitality Garden or like us on Facebook. This is Barry Mitchell for Study with the Best.
Since we originally ran this piece, City Tech is looking for a new location to repot their garden. We'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching Study with the Best. For all things CUNY, log into our website at cuny.edu, or you can Facebook and tweet us at CUNY TV. See you next time.
Fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together, choke their art. Merciless McDonald, worthy to be a rebel, into that at fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's hope. All's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune, with his brandished steel which smote with bloody execution. Like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced a slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Our King of Scotland, Mark. No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels. But the foul, undead hordes, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?